When we come at things, opportunities, manifestations, a lot of the time, it's during this up level phase, it can feel like, oh my God, I'm just so lucky. I don't want to lose this opportunity, so I can't say the wrong thing. I don't want to step on the wrong toes. And you can lose your boundaries and just overgive to the where that other person on the other end expects that from you. They don't even realize you're giving more. What we need to work through is, I'm not lucky to be here. I've earned this. I deserve this. This is my worth. Welcome to The Introverted Influencer, the podcast for the woman who's over getting advice from 20-year-old business coaches on Bali sabbaticals and 7-figure entrepreneurs who only share their wins. I'm your host, Erica Van Slyke, blogger turned soulpreneur, mom of 2, and a mentor for women done with the hustle. Here, sacred strategy meets feminine flow, and we expose what it really takes to build a business grounded in purpose, not trends. A brand that moves with your rhythm, not the algorithm, because you didn't leave your 9-to-5 grind just to build a shinier cage with your name on it. Well, hello, love. Welcome back to episode 96 of The Introverted Influencer. I hope you are enjoying this new energy of fall. It excites me. I love that chill in the air. It's like the sun just looks a little more magical. Anyhow, I'm like staring out at all of my pampas swaying in the wind. I'm going to get really distracted. I want to talk to you today about something that has been coming up, and I never put too much of an emphasis in it. And like all of my inner child reprogramming work, I've done shadow work. I feel like I've gone over a lot of other kind of topics, but this issue, okay, and as I'm speaking to you, this is eclipse season. So we're about to close out of eclipse season this Sunday, September 28th. And yes, you'll be past it by the time this comes out. These always come out a little later because I'll try to sit and batch all of my episodes in one day for the month. So it'll still be relevant for you though, especially like when we go into another eclipse season. So eclipse seasons are times when, our soul lessons, our karmic lessons really come up. They get inflamed, they get highlighted so that we can clear it and kind of move on to a higher timeline. And something that it's weird just how obvious it's becoming to me, and it's like out of nowhere. Like you can't make this shit up. Like I didn't realize it was such an issue, and now it's like glaringly, like why am I still doing this? And that is there's this distinction of gratitude, and that is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have in your life. But we can take it to this other extreme of feeling like we're just lucky to have what we have. And so then we stay stuck in these patterns of like overgiving, but under receiving, just kind of staying stuck in general. And what I really want to call in for this season of my life, I just turned 39 last week. And it's like, what do I want in my 40s? And I kind of just called this in like, I'm tired. Like I've gone through the initiations, I've gone through the ego deaths. I've questioned, do I deserve this? And in some ways it's been taken away and I've had to rebuild. And now I'm like, no, I'm ready to claim what's mine. And it's this masculine worth energy. So I want to talk to you today about that and just to see, where are you? Are you saying, oh, I should just be lucky to have this, thinking that it's spiritual and it's gratitude? Or is it holding you back and you're in more of a low self-worth, like you need to work on more of your masculine energy? And feminine, that's when I started this podcast years ago. I felt like not many women were out there talking about feminine flow and kind of bringing to light how our society is so masculine, that hustle is actually not the only way. And I wanted to really represent feminine flow, and feminine flow is great. There's a time for action, but there's a time to stop micromanaging what God's job is and allow for surrender, right? And learn to receive. That is a feminine energy. Today, I want to talk about how your lack of masculine energy can fuck you. And I know all of these tests in my life are coming up so I can clear them, so I can get to my next level. And so I feel like when we come at things, opportunities, manifestations, a lot of the time, it's during this up level phase, it can feel like, oh my God, I'm just so lucky. I got so lucky, almost like this was a fluke. I don't want to lose this opportunity, so I can't say the wrong thing. I don't want to step on the wrong toes. And you can lose your boundaries and just overgive to the where that other person on the other end expects that from you. They don't even realize you're giving more or you're overgiving. And it can put you in a really shitty dynamic to the point where you become resentful and you become underpaid. And so what we need to work through is this masculine energetic of worth, which is, no, I'm not lucky to be here. I've earned this. I deserve this. This is my worth. Yeah, I'm fucking worthy. I didn't just get lucky. And there are some weird ways that I don't know where I got this. I don't think it came from like any spiritual guru, or maybe someone has recommended this somewhere in the ethers and I don't know about it. But a lot of manifestations have been coming through to me, and I feel like I'm in the midst of an up level, and my natural tendency is to want to overgive and to prove so that it doesn't get taken away. That's one tendency. Or the other is like to put myself down, almost of like, oh my God, but like, do I even deserve this when, so much is going on in the world, or so many people are suffering? Like, who am I? One of the ways, and this is super woo-woo and weird, like I said, I don't know where I got it from. When I start to sometimes, this is not sometimes, I actually did just listen to this. I think David Guillaume said this. The people with the most money, the most success can actually have the most anxiety because it's so scary to lose it. Like, you have so much more to lose, right? Quick pause, you beautiful soul. So if you've been vibing with this episode and you are building a brand, a blog, or even a brick and mortar business, I would love to support you in your journey. I am so freaking excited to announce that I am now offering one-on-one consulting for creatives and entrepreneurs who want to grow with their feminine flow, their soul essence, and are over the hustle, over the burnout, and done spinning their wheels on strategy that doesn't even fucking convert. To learn more about my offerings and to book something with me, head on over to introvertedinfluence.com. And now let's get back into it. And so through this up level, through all these manifestations coming at me, sometimes like in the middle of the night or early in the morning, I can feel this sudden burst of anxiety in my body of like, oh my gosh, who am I to have this? What if this gets taken away? What if I lose it all? And when I feel that anxiety coming up in my body now, I am imagining a fire like in my aura and in my body, burning away that anxiety, but also not only like burning the anxiety away, I look at it as like burning that lower level of myself away. And like by burning that off, it's expanding my aura to hold more, and it's expanding my nervous system. So it's a visual that I've been doing, but it actually, like, I can feel it, it's somatically releasing that kind of, I guess it's just that older version of myself, that more limited version of myself. So it's weird. So if you're kind of in a phase too, where bigger opportunities are coming, or you're receiving more, but you're having that anxiety, you're going to lose it, or maybe you're not qualified, you're maybe having a little bit of, what do you call that? I totally blanked out. Where you feel like a fraud. Imposter syndrome. Oh my God. What? If you're feeling that, it's been really helpful for me to just like imagine that's an old version, a lower level of yourself, and you're kind of burning off that, and you're burning off those limitations, and you're just expanding, and you're saying, wow, no, like I can regulate and receive, and life can be good. It doesn't mean by receiving that, the other shoe's going to drop. And that's like a whole other story to have to work through. Like I've been working through that block for a long time of, the rug being pulled. But yeah, so that's one of the tactics that I'm using that helps a lot. But then also just kind of this rationalization of like, bitch, why are you having this fear or this guilt? How is it going to do you any good? Like, I know you can look around and say, with everything that's going on in the world, who am I to have this? Or who am I to be here? But how is it going to help if you don't have it? If you deny yourself? That's absurd. So, okay, I'm just thinking of examples that it really helps it put things into perspective, like immediately for me now. When I still get those thoughts, it's like, okay, yeah, so me being miserable, in lack, struggling to pay my bills, that's going to help my kids. Yeah, makes total sense, right? Or like me lashing out at my partner just because I had a horrible day, I was miserable. How does making yourself miserable help anyone else? Or how does, like, if you burnt all your money because you're like, oh, I don't deserve this. Do you see how nonsensical that is? Actually, that was like kind of a stupid analogy. It just came to mind, Abraham Hicks. I haven't listened to her in forever, but I remember she really works on like wealth consciousness and this worth that you are worthy. And it always clicked when she said, abundance, success, it's not a zero-sum game, right? And it would almost be like having that mentality of like, who am I to have this? Or, when someone else is struggling, is basically just like saying, oh, I feel really guilty that I'm healthy and someone else is sick. So let me make myself sick to make them healthy. That makes no fucking sense. So it's kind of just like this sheer rationalization of like, it just makes no sense. And I think one more thing of like, when you're in this phase of life and maybe the job or the client came through and you're tempted to overextend because you're so afraid of losing it, just remember, like, there's a reason you were chosen. You are enough. They saw something in you, and don't do something you're going to regret later, as in like freaking out, dog paddling, overgiving, and then that's what they expect. Just something to remember. So stop thinking you're lucky to be here or you're lucky you got this. No, burn that off. I know that sounds so weird. Embrace it. Hold it in your nervous system. Okay, you can do this. I know so many of us have been taught to believe that when the big thing comes through, it's going to be like easy or it's just going to be natural. I mean, no one really talks about like how discombobulating it can really be when you truly uplevel, and you've got to like train yourself to hold that next level, those blessings, especially when you've come from scarcity or strife, and that's kind of all you learned, and then you start to feel guilty to receive. We can't do that, because if you stay there too long, it is a possibility you could lose it because you would self-sabotage, right? And I have a history of self-sabotaging too. So this is something I'm doing in real time through this eclipse season of holding that energy, holding that blessing, not allowing that anxiety of like, oh God, this is too good. Who am I to have this? Envisioning it, burning away, holding the blessing. Yes, it gets to be good. And then just that basic, like, why would you think that it's going to help others if like you're miserable or something? I don't know. Am I just crazy? I don't think I'm the only one. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to, I know I'm not a very masculine person. I'm definitely not a hustle type of gal. I'm typically in my feminine flow, receiving, but I see where my energy has been a little imbalanced and I do need to embrace the masculinity. And that would be that part of like, yeah, I'm fucking worthy and I'm working on it every day. I'm not saying it's easy, but I also just wanted to normalize like, up leveling, receiving everything you want. it's an adjustment. It's weird. And I just don't think we talk about it enough. You're not crazy if you're going through the same thing. And with that, please, if there's anything you want me to cover, please send me a DM and let me know how I can help you. And with that, I will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We could keep on spreading the word about this podcast. And 2 ways you can help me out is by leaving me a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this episode on, or you can actually take a screenshot of this episode and tag me over on Instagram at Designing Vibes. And of course, I would love you to DM me whatever resonates, and I am sending you so much love.